Good morning. Could you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Good morning, everyone. First up, we will have minutes and claims from our auditor, Larry Hutchings.
Thank you, sir. We have one set of minutes from April 29th of 2025. Ask the commissioners to approve that, please.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have one set of claims, claim docket dated April 25th of 2025 through May 2nd of 2025, in the amount of $1,071,751.23. Would ask for the commissioners to approve that, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Auditor. Next up, we have approve a credit card for Veterans Affairs. Vicki, come on up.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Vicki.
We sent the application in because we have training that we've been using personal credit cards for and ordering supplies, paying for them out of pocket and then getting reimbursed. We thought this would just be a lot easier.
Okay.
Good with this, Mr. Auditor? Okay.
Go ahead, Mike, you're on a roll.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this morning we have a great opportunity to get a couple updates, one from the airport and Craig Machino, but the first up is RGL Solutions is going to give us a legislative update. And we're blessed with the boss. And,
Oh, the boss.
yeah.
Good morning, commissioners. Thank you so much for having us here this morning. Rachel Leslie with RGL Solutions, and as you noted, Commissioner, we have the opportunity to represent the county at the State House during the legislative session and otherwise. So session began on January 8th, and it closed on April 25th. This was considered a long budget session. There were 1,250 bills that were introduced in that time. 247 of them passed, which means less than 20% of the bills passed during the legislative process. And all the bills that went through the process are currently on the governor's desk. Things pertaining specifically to Vigo County that we followed for you and with you throughout session. House Bill 1515, Local Board Oversight of School Funds. This was the original bill that the county commissioners asked Senator Good to carry in regards to putting together a collaborative approach to how we fund our schools and make high-level decisions in regards to the future of our schools here in Vigo County. That bill had 3 different reiterations and 3 different bills. Started out in Senate Bill 382, finished literally in the last 2 hours of session on sine die, and House Bill 1515. That bill did pass, and it's currently on the governor's desk. Also, something that you followed, important to the Regional Hospital and Union Hospital merger, was Senate Bill 119. And through that process, we advocated as a community to continue the opportunity for the state of Indiana to work with Terre Haute Regional Hospital and Union Hospital in that merger process to determine the best thing for Vigo County and Terre Haute. And that bill did pass in the community's favor to make that decision. Senate Bill 1 regarding local income tax for school infrastructure and otherwise. Vigo County may now utilize the local income tax lit dollars for school infrastructure projects. Commissioners, if you remember at the beginning of session, there was going to have to be some provisions made in that Senate bill or House bill regarding the tax infrastructure to give the county the opportunity to even have the conversation in utilizing those funds to be able to help our school corporation in that dialogue. Whether the county council decided to do that or not, those provisions had to take place, and those provisions did end up in the final bill. House Bill 1461, road funding and infrastructure. Kind of a neat one, not specific to Terre Haute, but just good to know. The speed limit for I-465 went from 55 to 65, and for those that travel back and forth to Indianapolis, that's just a fun little thing to know because that happened. Good news for Terre Haute. Also, that bill provided new railroad infrastructure tax credits to our railroads, up to 50% credit, up to $9.5 million in statewide funding annually. This is important, especially for communities that struggle with railroad infrastructure and crossings, and individuals who have to sit for long periods of time when those trains are in our way. So I think there's some hope for Terre Haute and Vigo County to assist the railroads in receiving some of those funds, and we'll be taking a close, keeping a close eye on that. It also allows counties to apply for grants with low water crossing projects, also important from an infrastructure perspective, and it mandates our townships to have capital plans. So townships within Vigo County now have to have plans that showcase the water and sewage infrastructure and what they plan to do with those funds. Regarding community crossings, also a very important program to the county commissioners and the county overall. Counties no longer need a wheel tax to access the first $100 million, but they must have one to receive additional funds, and that will be based on lane mileage thereafter. So the fact that Vigo County already has a wheel tax does put our county in a really good position to receive additional funds moving forward. Communities that do not have that wheel tax in place, guarantee you right now, are likely trying to figure out how to go about doing that. Also, Senate Bill 1, local government finance reform in general. That required the 10% property tax credit up to $300, which means homes that are worth $300,000 or less will receive the 10% up to $300,000, and any homes assessed over the $300,000 will still be capped at the $300 property tax credit. It also allows the county to raise their LIT to 2.9%, and counties can take full control over the LIT in 2028, and it will abolish the income tax councils, giving the county commissioners and really the county council more opportunities to increase that LIT, have more local control of that funding, and make more local decisions from that perspective. I have a lot on Senate Bill 1. I've met with you individually. If you have specific questions today that you would like to ask about Senate Bill 1, I have just 3 pages on that, so I'm happy to address those. I won't bore everybody here today. House Bill 1134, executive session expansion, specifically important to the county commissioners. County meetings may now move to executive session to discuss things as healthcare options, specific employee compensation, contract negotiations with proprietary information, and employee handbook updates. So you can see things regarding personnel matters specifically are now considered acceptable conversations to happen within executive session. Regarding the budget impacts from House Bill 1001, there is in general a $2.4 billion projected revenue shortfall that the state of Indiana is facing. For those that were following, that caused a lot of hardships and really tough conversations at the state level. There were a lot of cuts that happened because of that conversation. Some of those cuts that might affect things close to home that may not be specific to the county, but could be felt across the county. All of our higher education institutions in the public sector received a 5% cut. So across all of their lines, they are going to receive 5% less than they received last year over the next 2 years. Public health funding, what they're calling Health First Indiana, went from $100 million to $40 million annually, which means our health department will certainly see some financial cuts moving forward. K-12 education and Medicaid was preserved. That was not touched. Most agencies saw cuts except for DCS, DOC, and FSSA. As far as well, I won't get into that because that's another conversation. So those are the things highly impacting Vigo County government and our community. Happy to address any specific questions that you might have.
Rachel, just clarity on community crossings. Vigo County has a wheel tax, and currently the city of Terre Haute receives some of that money, and West Terre Haute receives some of that money.
Mm-hmm.
So just to confirm, those municipalities still need to pass a wheel tax to be eligible to receive that extra funding.
For the additional funding, the city of Terre Haute would have to have their own wheel tax, Commissioner, you're correct. And that would be stackable upon the Vigo County tax that they already pay. I really just made this an exciting morning, I know. So if there's anything else?
No, it's good. I was going to let Commissioner Morris, I think he looks like he'd like to say something.
Well, I'm just thinking back on the different maneuvers and things as this long session, like you said, this long session's gone along, and the things that you touched upon that have real impact on our local community. The health program that was initiated a couple of years ago, and the reduction in that. Sorry, guys, and the DCS programs, which is important for our project that we've rekindled locally here with our group homes, and railroad crossings that we get complaints about frequently with our highway department, community crossings to match that, and and that minor combination of hospitals that has to do with the health care in our community, which we've tried to address in many facets. So, yeah, been an interesting session, hasn't it?
It has, sir. Very interesting.
Would you be open to questions from anybody in the audience, since we have the expert here on what all went on?
I am happy to address any questions
Would-
and do my best to answer.
Would anybody have a question for Rachel regarding the legislative session? Okay.
Gave them everything they needed, Commissioner.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you all for all you do. I'm not sure what we would do without you guys over there advocating for us. We do appreciate it, and thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all three of you. You're very active in the legislative process. You come over the same morning if needed, and certainly appreciate the partnership. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Rachel.
All right, next up, Craig Machino with the Airport Board has an update for us.
All right.
He promised it's only going to be 45 minutes long.
That's right, that's right. So, first thing, thank you, commissioners, for letting me be here this morning. And the first thing they teach in Intel school with the military is never turn your back on people when you're speaking. So this is really awkward for me, but thanks again for letting me be here. You see this, we've been staring at this side that says believe on it, right? And so I'm glad you got the opportunity to do that. You're like, what is this about believe? One, we believe that the days of the Terre Haute Regional Airport are ahead of us, not behind us. And what I love about the commissioners that they said when I got the job is like, what are you going to do? What can Terre Haute Airport do to help Vigo County? And it was very clear. We're going to hire kids right out of high school. We're going to start training them to be mechanics. And we're going to bring the companies here for them to work on those. And those jobs start $58,000, $60,000 a year. And in FedEx right now, they pay $150,000 a year, right? We're not going to look like Indianapolis. We quit chasing the airlines, and we realized what our strengths were, and then that's what we're moving forward with. So it's a little bit different. I want to thank the commissioners again. Everywhere I've went, Chicago, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., wherever, the State House, the commissioners, we're an airport authority, okay? And there's several of those around the state. Everybody's jealous of me here in Terre Haute because of these three guys right up here. Because everything I need, they're like, what do you need, Craig? Get it done. So thank you for that. What makes us special? We got a 9,000-foot runway, a 7,000-foot cross runway, and thousands of acres beside our airport for development. That makes us different. Indy's got a long runway. They don't have thousands of acres beside it. Sullivan's got a runway. It's not long enough to land a 737 on. We have all those things. We get funding. I want to talk about this. You hear this? Third busiest airport in Indiana. Well, how is that possible? It's possible because of Indiana State University's school and the training that they do. And it's fallen off, but we're working with Indiana State to increase those operations. So, commissioners, anything that we can do to help them and increase those operations, because after all the big airports are paid for, it comes down to discretionary funding, and that funding resurfaces our runways, our taxiways, all of these things. And right now, you can see that bullet too. Indianapolis has 193,000 operations a year. Lafayette and Purdue has 122,000, and Columbus has 53,000. You don't have the current numbers on here for this year because I didn't want to put them up there, right? Because right now we've slipped a little bit. ISU's enrollment has declined, And Lift Academy at Columbus is increasing. We've got to turn that around or we're going to become the 4th busiest airport, not the 3rd. And that directly impacts federal funding for our airport. Aerotropolis, we all see it, East Side's growing, right? But we want them to grow. That's good for all of us. But we have to make sure 2 things happen. 1, they don't build something too high that's going to affect our air traffic. And 1, the sound. Airplanes are noisy. And so we've had a great relationship working with the area planning office. Every time there's a permit, we reach out and we have a great relationship with them. We want to keep that going. So what are these creating good jobs? It's called a maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility, and we already started. Vigo County just approved. They're going to have 25 kids starting in the morning on this August that'll come out to our classrooms, and 25 in the afternoon. They're going to take general aviation courses to help fill these jobs. We've already been talking to companies to bring here and hire them. The other thing we talked about was people are like, well, wait a minute, I'm 30 years old. How do I get one of these jobs, pay $50,000 a year? We're like, that's a great question. I don't know. But one of the companies that we've been talking to offers training in the evenings. So we can use those same classrooms and train non-traditional students in the evening for these jobs, because we're going to need a lot of employment for West Central Indiana as we bring those. Because these companies, they can be as little as 70 to 100, but some of them hire, 2,000 and 3,000 employees. It's all possible here. Aviation Academy, here's some of the jobs, and these are forecast to be a shortage for pilots, air traffic controllers, and maintenance technicians through 2050. So this is worth our effort that we do this. All right, how am I doing on time? About 4 minutes in? All right, I'm rushing. Bird mitigation, as the east side goes, we're working with Rose-Hulman and some other institutions on putting floating solar in. You know the Hudson down there in the bottom of the picture, right? Hit a flock of birds and landed. Birds are bad for airplanes. And as development happens on the east side, that requires detention and retention ponds, and we want to work responsibly with our community private partners and try to mitigate birds as they grow. We want the development, but we want to do it responsibly. And it helps solar farms too, because no one wants good farm ground going to solar farms. But if we put it over water that's useless anyway as a detention pond, it's a nice win for all of us. And speaking of the solar farms, we actually have got a grant. We got a $500,000 grant from the state of Indiana when they heard about this. We have that. We have to build a solar farm within the next 3 years. And the commissioners were very helpful on us getting that grant. And that'll be part of a $3 million solar farm to be built there by Chamberlain Road. Because all of that money will go towards paying for the high school program. It's earmarked for that. That's one of the reasons we got the grant. And thanks to RJL's helping that as well. Advanced air mobility, this is what's going to happen. I don't want to sound like we're never going to have airline service in Terre Haute, but it's going to be the European model. And what that's going to be, you're going to have an app on your phone like Uber, and it's going to pick your family of 4 or 5 up, and it's going to take you to Indianapolis or Chicago to catch that connecting flight. That'll happen in our lifetime. Building for the future. What are we really doing and dollar-wise doing it? There's a lot. If you've driven out to the airport or ate at our restaurant recently, you see a lot of dirt turning. We just finished a runway safe grading area, federal project for $750,000. We've got a GTT hangar being built right there just to the left of the restaurant for about $3.75 million. West Quad box hangars on Hunt Road. There's 6 of those going up. That's a $5 million project. The solar farm is $3 million. Terminal apron rehabilitation, that just got awarded. We were worried the money wasn't going to come from the federal government. We found out yesterday it is. That's another $2.5 million. And then the connector road, I've got a graphic of that. That's that development because all of those MROs need businesses to help support them. And that's what a lot of those we're hoping to go out on Connector Road, and that's the road. I've got a graphic between Hunt Road and the Village Quarter area. And then runway 14 and 32, the reconstruction of that. Here's a graphic at the Connector Road if you've never seen it. Basically for Hunt Road is the yellow line to the right going north and south, and then you can see the Village Quarter to the left, and that's the Connector Road there by the Milestone plant. That opens a lot of that ground up for development that we really need for the airport's interest. And then we have this called the Office of Local Defense Development, utility corridor. The Air Guard needs new utilities for redundancy to make sure they're good on their fiber and all these things, and so they've actually are funding a utility corridor. We work with the county, the city, engineers, the airport engineers, and the air guard engineers, all to bring that corridor up from Meyer along the south side of the airport over to the air guard to give them the redundant utilities they need. And that opens up a large area to the south there for massive size maintenance, repair, and overhaul facilities. I think, other than a new air traffic control tower, that's going to happen 5 to 10 years from now. We just got some new funding coming into the system where we can pass that on. There's some of our community partners. I always like to throw all of our good partners out the airport that are there today that we appreciate. Crucial MRO is one of the companies we're talking to here right now about coming here, and we're going to need a lot of help from all of our partners in helping get them here, but we're full steam ahead on that. There's an air show. I always got to point that out. The Thunderbirds will be coming here in August of 2026. And that was a really quick wrap. Did I go over my time?
No, you did great.
What questions do you have, sirs?
Can we go first? First, I will say, if you've never been to DC with Craig Machino, you should give it a shot. It's quite the exciting visit. Craig does a great job challenging our federal legislators on the things they say, which is what we should do, hold them accountable, and they also do a great job of holding Craig accountable too, and it's a really cool conversation. I will say that as a county commissioner today, it's so much different than what it was 25 years ago. Our roles, especially being full-time county commissioners, have really changed from your typical roads, jail, sidewalks to these community advocates, and being privileged to be a part of these conversations at the state, local, and federal level. So it's awesome to be a county commissioner in 2025 and to get to be involved in these things. The Crucial conversation was great. We hosted them, you hosted them, Craig, in the community, and we were happy to get together quickly to meet with them. So, Craig, if you had one wish today for the airport, what would it be?
I think it's already come true. We've got the high school students coming out there this fall, and no matter what, those young men and women are going to get great jobs from the training that they're going to occur. But the next wish would be to bring Crucial here to hire them.
Yeah.
Great, that'll be great jobs for our community, jobs that make a difference. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I just appreciate your energy and passion, advocacy. Love it. Keep it up, and good things are happening. Appreciate it.
Thank you all for allowing me to. Thank you.
Craig's energy level is as if you drank 3 Red Bulls and showed up to something.
Three's an easy day.
Yeah, 3's an easy. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you. Okay, next,
Oh,
I'm
we
sorry.
had a question? Sorry.
Mark, go ahead. I didn't have a question.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Craig? Okay. Next, we would take comments from public. Anybody have any comments coming
Please.
up?
I wanted to introduce Lily Yeagley.
Oh, yes.
She's going to be starting a project. I think we've got a couple extra.
Well, come on up front, and both of you come up front and tell us a little bit about what's going on. Okay?
Hi, I'm Lily Yeagley. I graduated from IU in 2023, and since 2020, I've been working on and off with the health department. I've contact traced, I've done restaurant inspections, the whole shebang. Joni Wise inspired me to study my master's in public health. I'm moving to Copenhagen, Denmark to do that in August. But yeah, I'm just hoping to be helpful with the Spanish translation in the health department, because one thing I've noticed is a lack of help for people who speak Spanish in Terre Haute, and I just want to be able to help.
Extremely grateful to have you back.
Yeah, thank you.
She will also be doing the how-to videos
Yes.
and be putting those online. So like how to get a birth certificate, how to get a food permit, probably some other things within the county government that she will be working with IT to get those put up on our website.
In English and in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
great.
Okay.
Looking forward to seeing them.
Thanks, Amanda.
Okay, commissioners or any other elected officials? Anything to say?
Nothing, surprisingly.
I would say that this last weekend in Terre Haute surrounding area was hard to keep up with everything that was going on, different activities. So please, everybody in the community, continue to support these different things. The solid waste had a big event of both north and south, right? And, for people to bring their discarded items in, and races in Riley, and as we left Riley, the ball field was packed down there. Just any number of things. I think Women's League was Saturday night too. Just a lot of great things going on. Continue to support your community, guys.
We don't want to tell them who won that race between me and you, do we? I think we all know who won that race. Kevin, come on up, because you were my last thing I want to talk about. I just wanted to commend Assessor Gardner for how he's handled this last week and all the drama about the assessments. You're transparent. You went on podcast. You went on interview. You did interviews. You even went to the GOP breakfast, for what I understand. We appreciate you and how you've handled this. And we all know social media can be a blessing and it can be an absolute curse. And we've all seen that curse. And thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And I did want to add, the notice of assessments, which is what all this is blown up about, did go out on April the 25th. Any taxpayer that has not received their notice of assessment yet, they can either contact the office and we can print them off a new copy, or if they can navigate the Beacon website, the new notice of assessments are available on it at the bottom.
I didn't get mine, Kevin.
Get on the Beacon or come on down, we'll give you one.
I'll come see you. No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
Kevin, did anybody's go down?
No. If there are, I haven't seen it yet.
Yep. Thank you, Kevin. Anything else for the good of the order? Or is that,
No, just quickly about Kevin, I agree with everything you said, Mark, because talk about a tough job and some of the comments that people have made and said in the phone calls, and he's literally answered every phone call, and that's pretty awesome for an elected official, so thank you, Kevin.
okay, we will stand in recess. See you next Tuesday. Thank you.